Hi everyone, this is Kamal here. If you are following my channel, I have been making videos on date and time in Excel. You can check the playlist link in the description box. Till now, we have discussed about the date system Excel follows, how Excel stores dates in the background, different date formats. Then we discussed about how to convert text to date using different methods. Then some important date functions and formulas. And in our last video, we saw all about time in Excel. So in this video, I have brought all those discussions into a single place so where you can learn all those things about date and time in Excel. So here it is guys. This is a new fresh Excel sheet and here I'll enter some date 05-02-22 and now I'll press enter. So here you can see it is converted into 05/02/22. So now as a new user, it is difficult for me to understand which format it is. It can be DDMMYY or MMDDYY or any other format as well. So here we have to understand that in our computer system, there is always a default date format that is set in the control panel. So let's check there. This is your control panel and here under the clock and region, change date, time or number formats, or we can directly click here and here under region, click here and here in this formats tab, we can see here the format is English and in the bracket we have United States and the short date shows here mm/dd/yy. So this is basically the date format of US. So we have to change it to India. We'll click on this drop down and here we need to search India. We'll select this short date is changed to dd-mm-yy. So basically in India we follow this format. You can click on this drop down and you can select any other. You can also click on this additional settings and go to this date tab and here also you can change to any short date format. So let it be like this. I'll cancel this and now to this format I'll click on apply and OK. Now let's go back to the Excel sheet. So now this date format has been updated according to the what we set in the control panel. So 02 is the day, 05 is the month and 2022 is the year. So that is how we make the default date format in our system. Now on top of it, if you want to change your date format within your Excel sheet or if you want to customize it according to your own interest, that also you can do. So first of all, in our home tab in this number group, there is a drop down. Here we have short date and long date. So short date is this one and long date you can see this is 2nd May 2022. If you select this will be automatically changed to this format. So if I add another date here, that is 04/05/2001. Now if I press enter, this is converted into the format which is set in the control panel. So this is basically 4th of May 2001 and the long date format that we changed, that is only applied to this cell only. So if we want to set a specific customized date format across this column, select this entire column and we can right click and go to format cells, or the shortcut is Control 1. Now under the number tab, we need to click on this custom and here under type it is general and here under sample it shows some number that is 44,683. So that I'll explain in a bit later, but as of now, to have a customized date format, we need to provide the date format here. So select this and I want the date format to be dd space space YYYY. So as we change the format here, it shows a sample here under the sample you can see, and now let's click on OK. So now in this column you can see it is updated to the new format. So now instead of the month as a number, if you want as the month name, then what we have to do, we have to go to this custom and here we need to provide dd space 3 times m space YYYY. Now click on OK and now you can see it is coming as day as number, month as the name and year as the number. So let's enter another date here in this cell. I will enter 1st February 2021 and now I'll press enter. So you can see it is automatically changed to 01/Feb 2021 because that is the customized format we have set. So now before moving forward, let's check this table. Here it shows how the customization differs. So here the single M, it shows month number without a leading zero, that is 1. If we provide double M, then it shows the leading zero, that is like 01. So this is the month January. If triple M, then it shows the short form of the month name. And if we provide 4 times M, then it shows the full name of the month. Similarly for days and similarly for year, we have double Y and 4 times Y. So let's check here in our Excel sheet. Now select this entire column and now we'll go to the format cells, custom, and now here we'll type our own date format. So if we provide double D, then space, currently this is showing the short form of the month. So now we'll provide 4 times M and space and YY. And now if we click OK, we can see here it is changed to 01 February 2021. So on top of it, let's say we want to add the day name as well. So what we'll do now, we will put DD space 4 times D and then again space, then 4 times M and then 4 times Y. In place of 4 times D, it will give you the name of the day and then same as full month name and the year. So now if we click on OK, it will give us 02 Monday, May 2022. So we can verify here 2nd of May 2022 was Monday, this date. So that is how it shows the date format in this form. So that is all basically how we are using day, month and year formats like this. How many D, M or Y we are using. Now let's check another thing. Here in this cell, I'll just type 1. And now if I press enter, it shows 01 Sunday, January 1900. That is because Windows Microsoft Excel date starts from this date, that is 1st of January 1900. So this date is considered as the first date in Windows Microsoft Excel. If you press simply 2 here and press enter, it will show you 2nd of January 1900. So that is how it will keep on increasing by 1 day. Now let's check another thing. Let's select this date and go to format cells. If we go to general, here in the sample you can see a number, that is 44,683. So this is nothing but the number of days from 1st of January 1900 till this date, 2nd of May 2022. Similarly, let's select this date. Now it will show a different number. We can also check it here under this number group. Here in this drop down, it shows a number, so there is the same number. Now let's check another thing. Sometimes when you import some data from any external source like a website or any other source, the dates comes in some format which Excel cannot recognize. So Excel will consider that as a simple text. So we need to convert it into corresponding date values. So how we can do that we'll see in our next video. So in this video, we checked what is the default date format of our computer and where we have to set, that is in the control panel. And on top of that, how we can customize our date format within our Excel sheet. And these are the codes that we use while customizing the date. How to convert text value into corresponding date value in Excel. Sometimes while importing data from any external sources, Excel cannot recognize the dates in proper date formats. So Excel considers them as text data. So when we have this type of data, we cannot perform any kind of dates operations. So there are so many ways where we can convert the text data into corresponding date type. So date value function converts a date that is stored as text to a serial number. So as we have earlier discussed, that Excel stores the dates in serial numbers. So as we know, the dates starts from 1st January 1900. So that is considered as the serial number 1. And similarly for rest of the dates, it keeps on increasing. And value function converts a text string that represents a number to a number. And this is the syntax: value under bracket text. So this text can represent any date or time or any number that we'll see now. So these are some dates which is currently in the text format that we need to convert into actual dates. So let's apply the function equal to date value and the argument will be this one. Close the bracket and press enter. So here we are getting a number. So as I said, Excel stores the dates as serial numbers. So this serial number represents 1st of April and the year will be, because here we have not specified the year, it will automatically take the current system year. So currently it is 2022. So we'll apply this function across all these records, and next we'll see this record which contains both date and time, and here it shows only one number. So date value function can convert only the date part, not the time part. So that is a limitation of the date value function. Similarly, next is a number, that is simply 20, and here we are getting an error. So this is another limitation of the date value function. Date value function cannot convert a simple number into corresponding date. Similarly, we have another number where we have delimiters as the dots, not slash or hyphen. So again, any delimiter which is other than slash or dash, that cannot be converted into the corresponding date using this date value function. Now let's see the value function, how it works. Equal to value, and I'll pass the argument as this one. Close the bracket and press enter. And now we can see both the functions results the same number, that is 44,652. So later on we'll convert this into some customized date. Now let's apply this function across all these records. Okay, now let's verify these results. So here we can see first 3 records are same. Now this record, as it contains both date and time, the value function can convert both the date part as well as the time part, and the time part is converted into the decimal numbers. Next, this is a number, that is 20, and as you can see, the value function can do it. Now the next one cannot be converted using any of these two functions. So for this kind of text or the text date, we have other methods that we'll see in our next video. Now let's provide some customization. We'll select this column and here we will select the long date format, and we can see the first record is 1st April 2022, as it doesn't contain the year, converts into the current system year. Now next is 1st April 2021. This is in the full date format. So here this is 0102-2001. So this is 1st February 2001. Similarly this one as well. Now let's apply here. We'll give the formatting as, let's provide some custom date format. We'll select this one where we have both date and time. Here we'll provide 4 times m. Now let's click OK. So as you can see, it provides both date and time, and we can see this record where this value function provides us 1st February 2001 and 21:10, that is 9:10 p.m. And now this record where we have number as 20, it gives us 20th January 1900. So as we know, the date starts from 1st January 1900. So the number 20 gives us 20th January 1900. So here one more information I want to give. Excel keeps the text data with left aligned, whereas it keeps the date type of data right aligned by default. So that's all about date value and value functions. I hope it helps you. All these dates in text format. So you can see here all the values are left aligned. The text data is always left aligned by default. So to convert these into corresponding date values, we'll use the find and replace method. If we have more records, select this entire column and press the shortcut Ctrl H. So in the find what, we'll type dot, which is our current delimiter, and in replace with, we'll put /. Now press replace all. So now we can see here all those text data have been converted into the corresponding date values. You can see now all the data are now right aligned. Date values are always right aligned in Excel by default, and here as well you can see it shows the type as date. So like this, we have successfully converted all those text data into corresponding date values. If you want, you can give it to a format. So select here long date. So now all are in long date format. There is another method, that is the formula way. If you want to use functions, you can do that way as well. So to check that, let's undo all the changes first. So now again all these data are now left aligned. All are now in text format, and here we'll apply the formula. The function we will use is substitute function, equal to substitute. The first argument is text, which is this one, comma, old text, the dot, comma, new text, /. Then the last argument, instance number, that we don't need to specify because we want for all the records. Close the bracket and press enter. So here you can see all the dots have been converted into slash, but still it is left aligned. So the data is still in the text format. So before this function, we'll use the value function, equal to value bracket starts, and put this substitute function inside the bracket. And now let's press enter. And now you can see here it is right aligned and converted into a serial number. So as we have discussed in our previous videos, Excel stores the dates in serial numbers. So this formula has successfully converted this text value into corresponding date value, which you can see right aligned and in the form of a serial number. Let's apply this formula across all these records. Now let's convert it into the long date format. And now we can see here this is 2nd January 2010. Like that, the last one is 23rd December 2021. So here our delimiter is dot, but it may be space or backslash. Any kind of custom delimiter can be successfully converted into the corresponding date values. So here we check the first method is the find and replace method, and the second method is this formula way. Sometimes the text date can be more complex, where the days, month will be in a more complex way, like this one where you have day name, month name and year in this way. So that type of complex text date cannot be converted into the date value by using all these simple methods. So for that, there is another way, that is text to column. Here we have some dates in text format. You can see all the values are left aligned. We will see how we can convert all those into the corresponding date values. These text dates are in some complex format. You can see it contains day name, comma, day number, then month full name, and then year. So for such kind of complex date values, we can't use previous two methods. So for this, we will use the text to columns method. Let's go to the data tab, and here we have text to columns. It says split a single column of text into multiple columns. So here, because our text date contains multiple parts with different delimiters, so we need to separate this using text to columns. So first select this column, click on text to columns, delimited is selected, click on next, and here we need to select our delimiters. So uncheck this tab and select comma and space. Then next. Now under the data preview, we can see all these elements are separated into different columns, and here under column data format, make sure it is general. Here also we have an option, do not import column. So in our case, we can skip this day names. So select this column and select do not import column. Now you can see this column is skipped. The third thing is destination. So basically after splitting, from where it will start. So here we have an extra blank row, the first one. So let's select the destination as D2. So first remove this and select D2 and click finish. So you can see all these three elements except this day name are split into three different columns. Now we need to combine these three elements to form a single date. So for that, we'll use the date function equal to date. The first argument is here, this cell, comma, then month, comma, the day. Close the bracket and press enter. It is giving the error because here month should be a number, but in our case, it's a text. So for this month, we have to use another function, the month function. Here, month bracket starts, and here because the argument should be a serial number, we have to write in this way 1 ampersand the cell name. Close the bracket, enter, and we can see it is converted into the corresponding date value. Let's expand this, and you can see it is right aligned. We already know date values are right aligned by default. Let's check the formula again. Equal to date F3, that is here, comma, month function, 1 ampersand and the cell which contains the month, comma, day. Now let's apply this across all these records. We can format it as well in this manner. So let's select this column, press Ctrl 1, go to custom, and here we'll give the format 4 times D, comma, space DD space 4 times M space 4 times Y, and click on OK. And now we can see all these dates are in this manner. If you want to verify or perform some operation, let's say equal to this date plus 1, enter, it shows Saturday 10th December 2022, like that for rest of the records. So like that, using text to columns, all these complex text dates have been converted into the corresponding date values, and also we have verified by performing some date operations. We can also use text to columns for the simpler text dates like this one. Select this, Ctrl Shift down, click on text to columns, delimited, next. Here we don't need to select anything, click on next, and here we need to select date, and in this drop down we need to select which date format these text dates contain. In our case, it is day, month, year. So we will select DMY, and in the destination we will give this cell, that is F3, and now we are good to go. Click on finish. All these are converted into corresponding date values and all are right aligned. We can change it to the long date format. Go to home tab, select long date, and now we can see it is the same as this. So in this example, you can see it contains some functions and formula. So if you don't want to go for the formula approach, you can use text to columns, and you can very easily convert your text into date values. How to convert text to date using some mathematical operators. We have some dates in text format. You can see all are left aligned, and these are the formulas we'll be using. You can see addition, multiplication, division, double negation, and this is how it will be converted into the date format. And at the end, we'll verify the result. We will also see some limitations of this method. So let's start. So first I'll delete all these values. We'll apply this formula here, equal to D3 plus 0, enter, and it is 1st April 2022. So as you know, if the year is not specified in this text, it will take the current year, which is 2022 now, and also the date values are right aligned by default. Let's take this example, equal to D4 plus 0, enter, and it is 1st April 1998. Now using the multiplication, equal to D5 into 1, enter, and it's 1st April 2021. Now let's come to this text which contains both date and time. So equal to D6 divided by 1, enter, and we can see it is 1st February 2001, 2110. So this is the custom format we have applied in this cell. We can see here in custom, this is DD 4 times M, 4 times Y, then HH colon MM. That's why it is the date, then month full name, then year, and this is the time. Now let's come here. Here we have a text 20. We'll use the double negation in our formula, equal to double negation, then D7, enter, and it is 20th January 1900. Because we already know Excel stores the dates in serial numbers starting from 1st January 1900. So because it is 20, it is converted into the serial number 20, which is 20th January 1900. Now let's come here. In this text date, it contains some custom delimiter because it is dot. So let's try to convert this using the multiplication, equal to D8 multiplied with 1, enter, and it is giving us error. So this is the limitation of this method. It cannot convert the text which contains custom delimiters. Similarly, let's see this text which is in some complex format. It's day full name, comma, the day number, month full name, and year separated by spaces. Let's try this one, equal to D9 divided by 1, enter, and again it is also giving us error. So this is again a limitation, but these two types we have already discussed in our previous videos about the custom delimiter. We can see in this video containing custom delimiters into the corresponding date values. Also complex text dates we have seen in this video using text to columns. These are the corresponding date values. You can see both the videos links are in the description box. Now let's verify all these results. Let's perform equal to this date plus 2. Enter, and it's 3rd April 2022. Let's apply in all. All are increased by 2 days because we are adding with 2. So it's a very simple method to convert text dates into date values. I hope this helps you. These functions we'll see. Also, we'll see how to add or subtract days, months, or years from a given date. So let's start with today function. This function returns the serial number of the current date, which is like today's date. So whenever you'll open your worksheet, it will display the current date of the system. Let's check equal to today. Enter. Shows 19th January 2023, which is today's date. You can see here. Next is edate. Edate returns the serial number of the date, that is the given number of months before or after a specified date. So here the parameters are start date and month, and the months will be any number that may be a positive number or a negative number. Let's check here. Equal to edate start date. Let's take this date, today's date, comma, and in months let's put minus 5, close bracket, enter, and it shows 19th August 2022. So if you go 5 months back from today's date, it will be this date, or in the formula, if we remove minus, so we are adding 5 months from today's date, it will show 19th June 2023. So this function is also used to get the renewal date after a given month from the date of issue. So let's say you have taken a subscription of 15 months from today's date. So this function will return you the renewal date after the given months. Next we'll see day, month, year. Day function returns the day from 1 to 31, and the parameter is a serial number which represents a date equal to day. So needs the argument as a serial number. We'll use this date, and let's first convert it into a serial number. We'll change it to general, and this is the corresponding serial number. And now let's apply the function equal to day serial number this, close the bracket, enter, and it shows the day as 19 because today's date is 19. Similarly for month, equal to month serial number this, enter, and 1 means January. So it gives the output as 1 to 12. So 1 represents January and 12 represents December. Similarly for year, equal to year, the serial number, and it shows 2023 as the year. So that is how we can find out the day, month, or year from a given serial number which represents a date. Next we'll see the date function. This function returns the serial number of a particular date, and the parameters are year, month, and day. So we need to provide the year, month, and day equal to date. Now we have already got this day, month, and year, and we'll pass these values as the parameters. So in year we'll give this year, comma, month, comma, day, and it shows 19th January 2023. So if we have day, month, and year in separate columns, we can form the date using this function. Next we'll see how to add or subtract days, months, or year, or the combination of all these values from a given date. First let's see how to add or subtract days from a given date. Equal to, let's use this date plus 5, enter, and it will give us 24th January 2023, which is 5 days from today. Similarly, we can also make it minus 5, enter, and it will go back 5 days from today's date. Similarly, if the number is big, let's say 55 days, we can add or subtract like this. Similarly for month, we already have a dedicated function which we have seen, this edate. So let's apply it again here. Equal to edate start date, again let's check today's date, comma, months, let's say minus 4, enter, and it will show 19th September 2022, which is 4 months back from current month. Let's check for years. So for years, we don't have any dedicated function or any direct way, so we have to use a formula, and for that we have to use the date function. Let's apply equal to date, and here the parameters are year, month, and day. So because we are going to add or subtract years from current date, we have to do the plus or minus operation in this year function. So first apply this year function with a serial number. Let's take this number, serial number. It will provide us the year of this date, and on that we'll add or subtract the number of years. So I'll add plus, let's say 16 years, then comma. To get the month, we'll use the month function, serial number this, and for day, day function, and close the bracket. Let's see the formula again. Equal to date, and for year we are getting the current year, and we are adding 16 years. So we are basically adding 16 years from current date, and then month, and then day. Press enter, and we are getting this date, that is 19th January 2039, that is 16 years from now. Now let's add or subtract all these values from a given date. For that, again we have to use the date function, equal to date, then year, serial number this, and we'll subtract 5 years from now, then comma. Now month, month function, serial number this, we'll add 9 months, comma, day function minus 14 days, close the bracket. So this is your formula. Inside the date function, we are adding, or we can say we are subtracting 5 years from current year, and then adding 9 months from the current month, and subtracting 14 days from current day. So the date is 5th October 2018. So this is how you can calculate days, months or years from a given date. Next we'll see this function date difference. It calculates the number of days, months or years between two dates. So parameters are start date, end date and unit. So unit is basically days, months or years. So in which unit we need the output equal to date difference. So when you type, it may not populate the function, so you have to type completely. So let's take today's date as a start date, then comma, and end date, let's take this one, then comma, and unit will take days. So for days the code is D, so under double quotes we'll provide D, enter. You can see this number error, that is because the start date here, this is greater than the end date, so in that case you will get the error. So the start date should be lesser than the end date. So let's change this formula. We'll make H5 as the start date and then E4 as the end date. Now we can see 55 days. Let's check for month. We'll calculate the month difference between this date and this date. So here in this formula, it will be I5 to E4 and the code will be M. Press enter and it is 4 months. Similarly for years, we'll take this date. So the start date should be lesser. So here the start date will be this E4 and end date will be J5. And here the code will be Y and the difference is 16 years. Next we'll see the days function. This function returns the number of days between two dates, end date and start date. We'll see here equal to days, end date, let's take this one, comma, start date, this one, and the number of days is 151 between these two dates. We can also check equal to this date minus this date, which is 151. Next we'll see the weekday function. This function returns the day of the week. So what is the day of a week? And the output ranges from 1 to 7, 1 being Sunday and 7 being Saturday by default. And here the arguments are number and type. So number is basically the serial number of the date, and type, so if it is blank or 1, then by default it takes Sunday as 1 and Saturday as 7. If we're providing 2, then it takes Monday as the start of the week, but mostly we take Sunday as the first day of the week, that is 1 equal to weekday. Now we need to convert it into serial number equal to weekday, serial number this one, then close the bracket. So by default 1 is taken as Sunday, enter, and the output is 5. So 5 means Thursday. So that is how from any given date you can find out what is the day it is from the week. Next is workday function. Start day will take this date. Days, let's consider 10 days from today's date. Then holidays. So holidays, I have already defined these two dates, that is 25th January and 26th January 2023. So I'm taking this range B4 to B5. So it can be any range you can take from your holidays list. So from this function we'll get what is the next working day after 10 days considering the weekends and these two holidays, and it is showing as 6th February 2023. So this will be the next working day after 10 days. Next we'll see this function net work days, and the parameters are start date, end date and holidays. So it returns the number of whole working days between start date and end date excluding the weekends and holidays. So we'll take the start date as this date. So first we'll convert it into the date format and we'll apply this function. Start date will be this, comma, end date, let's take 31st January 2023, that is end of this month. Holidays, again let's take this range, this will be under double quotes, enter. So it returns 7, that is there are 7 working days from today till 31st January 2023 excluding the weekends and these two holidays. We can check these two dates, then there is weekend. In this week there will be 3 days because there are two holidays, 25th and 26th. So 3 days, so total 5 days, and 30th and 31st 2 days, so total we have 7 working days. So these are some important date related functions in Excel. This video is all about time in Excel. We will learn how Microsoft Excel stores time, what is the default time format Excel follows, and where it is set. Then we will see how to set custom time format, and then we will see about time functions, what are the time functions available in Excel, how to convert text into corresponding time, and date and time. So Microsoft Excel stores times as fractions and it starts with 0. So at 12 a.m., which is 0 hours, 0 minutes and 0 second, that is considered as 0.0. And when the day ends, that is 23 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds, that is considered as 0.99999. So as we know, a whole number 1 is considered as one full day. So in that way, 0.5 is half of the day, that is 12 p.m. and 0.25, that is 1/4 of a day, that is 6 a.m. in the morning. So in that way, any moment of the day can be calculated as a fraction which can be converted into corresponding time. So if we have both date and time, then the integer is the date and the fraction is the time. So if we have some value like 1st April 2022 12 p.m. So 1st April 2022 can be converted into the serial number 44652, and 12 p.m. is half of the day, that is 0.5. So this whole data will be 44,652.5. Similarly, 1st April 2022 and 7:15 p.m. Then if you calculate it, it will be 44,652.802. So in this manner, Excel stores time values. But for our convenience, we make it into some format that we'll see now. So every system has a default time format that is set in the control panel. Let's open the control panel. Here we have to go under clock and region. We have to click here, change date and time. So first in this drop down, we will select India. Here it is. So here you can check short time. The default format is HH:MM:TT. That is hours colon then minutes then AM or PM. And long time we have seconds as well. And here are some examples. So short time will be 4:29 PM and long time will be 4:29:17 seconds PM. If you click on additional settings and go to time tab, then here in this time formats you can also change to any other format, and here it shows what the notations mean. Small h means hour, small m equal to minutes, and double T, that is AM or PM. Small h, it is 12-hour format, so we have to put AM or PM, and if it is capital H, then it is 24-hour format. So I'm not making any changes here, and let's go back. So that is how you can set your default time format in control panel. Now let's check custom time format, how we can customize our time format to be displayed. So these things we have already seen. Small h, that is without any leading zero, and it represents hours, and double H means with a leading zero. Similarly for minutes and seconds. We will see that in our Excel file. Here it shows if AM or PM is not mentioned, then by default it considers 24-hour time format. So let's understand everything with some time functions. These are the functions we'll see now. First is now function. Let's apply here equal to now. So it doesn't take any argument, enter, and it shows the current date and time. So today it is 25th January 2023 and the time is 16:39. So it is in 24-hour format. So basically this function returns a serial number which represents this date and time, but Excel converts it into some date time format. So here you can see the type is custom. Let's check the format. In the format cells, control 1, and this is the format it is applied, dd-mm-yy and then hh:/mm. If we click on time, then these are the different formats we have. We can select any format. So here you can see a format with an asterisk. So that is the default time format that is set in control panel. So if you want to change to any other format from this list, that you can select. If we select this format, so this is basically HH:/mm, AM or PM, and here it shows a sample that is 4:40 PM. Click on OK, and now you can see here this function now shows only the time value, not the date, because that is what we have set in the format cells. Let's go again to the format cells and go to custom, and now we will see how to customize the date and time format. So I will select this one, double D 4 times M, then 4 times Y, then HH:/mm. Let's click on OK, and this is the format. January is the full name because in the month we provided 4 times M, and now the time is in HH:/mm format. If you want to make it to 12-hour format, that is with AM or PM, here we just need to, let's add seconds as well, colon SS, then AM/PM. Okay, and now you can see 25th January 2023, 4:47:56 PM. So let's apply here again, enter, and it shows 4:49:03 PM. So here you can see, check in the system 4:14 PM. So that is how, if you use this function, it will always return the current date and time of the system. The next function is second function, equal to second, and the argument is a serial number. So let's convert this date and time into a serial number. So in this cell, go to this drop down and we'll select the general format, and this is the corresponding serial number. Now let's apply this function here, equal to second, the argument is the serial number. Let's apply this, close bracket, enter. So this second function returns the second of a particular time. If you want to verify, then let's click this cell and go to this drop down, and here in this time you can see 4:51:40 seconds PM. So this was the time when we applied this function, and you can see the second was 40 seconds. Now let's check this function, equal to minute. Again the argument is serial number, enter, and the minute is 53. We can check it here again. This is the time of this serial number, that is 4:53. You can observe one thing, the time has changed. So there is a characteristic of the now function, it always gives you the current date and time of the system. Similarly for hour, equal to hour, serial number this, enter, and it is 16. So we already know the time is now 4 p.m., which is 16. The next function is time function equal to time. Now let's check the arguments are hour, minute, and second. So this function gives the current time from hour, minute, and second values. So if we have hour, minutes, and seconds in different columns, then using this function we can form the time into a single cell or a single value. So in hour, let's select this, comma, second, this. Now close the bracket and press enter. It is 4:55 p.m. If we change the format to this, it shows 4:55:23 p.m. So you can see the time is keep on changing due to the now function. So as I said, if you are having hours, minute, and seconds in different columns, using this function you can get all those into a single cell and get a proper time value. Now let's check equal to time value, and here the argument is time text. So this function is useful when you have some time in text format. We already know if we import our data from any external data source like a website or any other source, then Excel gets those data which it cannot recognize that it is a time value, and it considers the data as a text data. So because of that, it cannot perform any time operation. So we need to first convert those text values into corresponding time values so that we can perform all the time operations. So that can be done using this time value function. So let's do one thing. Let's remove this function and first change the type into text of this cell, and we'll put a text here which is a time. Let's say 12:35:23 p.m. So this is a text value. You can see it is left aligned. So we already know text values are left aligned by default. And now we'll apply the time value function on this text equal to time value, time text, this cell, and enter. We can see it is converted into corresponding time. You can see this is 12:35:23 p.m. and it is right aligned. And we already know date and time values are right aligned by default. So it is successfully converted into corresponding time from a text value. So that is how we can convert text into corresponding time values in using time value function. Now next we will see if we have both date and time in text format, then how can we convert into corresponding actual date and time values. So in that case, we'll use the time value function for time and date value function for date, and then we'll combine both of them using the plus operator in a particular cell. So let's take some date and time in text format in this cell. So first let's convert this cell into text format, and now we'll put a text. Let's say 2nd January 2023 12:30 p.m. So this is a text value. You can see it is left aligned. So now it has two parts, date and time. Just change the formatting, and here we'll apply the date value function for the date part equal to date value, and the argument is date text. So from this whole text we need to extract only the date part. So for that we'll first use the left function because the date part is in the left part. Left, the text is this, comma, number of characters it would be 11. Then now we are good to go. Close the brackets. So this is the formula equal to date value inside that left in E10 till 11th position. Press enter, and this is the serial number of the date. We can check here. This is 2nd Jan 2023, and in our text also it represents the same date. Now for the time part, we'll use the time value function. Again, similarly from the whole text, we'll extract only the time part, which is 12:30 p.m. and the position is from the mid till the rightmost. So equal to time value, and in the time text, we need to use the mid function, which will extract the time part from the mid position till the rightmost. So mid text will be this whole text, comma, the start number, the start position will be from here, position 13, comma, number of characters will be. So there are total 8 characters. Now we are good to go. Close the brackets. So from the mid position, that is from the 13th position, it will extract 8 characters. That is 12:30 space PM. Press enter, and this is the fraction part which represents the 12:30 p.m. We can verify here, and the time shows 12:30 p.m. So we have correctly extracted time part from the text. Now to get this date and time into one cell, we will use the plus operator. So equal to this plus this cell, that is E11 plus E12, enter, and this is the number which represents, that is 2nd January 2023 12:30 p.m. So let's give it a format. Control 1, click on custom, and let's take this format, click on OK. And this is our actual date and time. If you want to use AM or PM, then we can do it by just adding here AM/PM and click on OK. So that is how from a given text can we convert it into actual date and time using date value and time value functions. Now next we will see some simple add and subtract operations on time using plus and minus operators. So here, as we have seen, we have added date and time using the plus operator. So similarly for time operations, so let's check if we want to subtract some time from a given time. So let's apply equal to now. So this is the current date and time. So we'll add here AM/PM. So it shows 5:26 p.m. and now on this we'll subtract 0.5. Enter, and it shows just 12 hours back, that is 5:26 a.m. Now let's check here. We'll add 5. A whole number represents the days equal to now plus 5. Enter, 30th January 2023 17:27. So from now next 5 days. Now in this formula we'll subtract both date and time. So it is 5.75, that is 5 days, and 0.75 time. So 0.75 is 3/4 of a whole day now minus 5.75. Enter, and it is 19th January 2023, 23:28. That is from current time 5 days and 18 hours back. 0.75 is 18 hours. So here we check, it returns the date and time 12 hours back. Next plus 5 returns the date and time 5 days from now. Next here it is minus 5.75 returns 5 days and 18 hours back from now. So that's all guys. We discussed quite many things about time in Excel. That's all about date and time in Excel guys. If I have missed anything, please let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please click on the like button and share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much and see you soon.